If you're new to the channel, I'm Chelsea and this is Yoshi. We have been living in a van for 8 years now and have travelled most of the UK. If you didn't know, we've just bought our dream home on wheels, Hilda, a 1995 Mercedes T2 508D. She needs a lot of work, but right now it's winter and I don't have a source of heating in the van yet. You might not have known this also, but I built my very own log burner from a gas bottle, and today we need to finish that build by installing it. Today we're getting a log burner in. If a lot of you don't really know what to do with a log burner, I am going to basically help you step by step. So this is the log burner stand. I am sat on the log burner stand. I have behind this, I have fireboard so that this wall doesn't get too hot, and then I've got this just to cover it up so it looks a lot nicer, because I am not into the whole just the fireboard. It's not for me really. So what we are going to do is I am going to drill some holes into the stand so I can bolt the log burner into the stand, and then what we need to do is get the flue and figure out in the ceiling where I need to cut the hole for the flue. And I also need to make sure that I am not cutting the hole for the flue where there is structural beams in the van which is another dilemma because the ceiling was already on in this van, so I don't know where they are. And then I need to figure out this other bit of wood that's just up here, this bit, because I don't like it. It's not flush, it's not straight. And then I also need to get my sign and figure out what that's doing up there, so then that's protecting the wood on the roof as well. So those are the things that I need to do, and I also need to cut the hole on the outside. I have the, is it a flange? I don't know. This. I have this already, which is to go on the outside of the van. It is called a silicone pipe flushing. I got this off Amazon, but it's bendy, so that it bends with the van and things like that, so it can fit flush. And then I need to sealant all of this and then screw it down so then there is no water coming into the van, and then cut the thing out here and then probably sealant around that too so there's no water coming out or around it, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So that is the mission. That is what I need to do. You basically need a flue, a hat, and one of these, and some boat sealant. Is it Obi-Wan or something like that? But I would get boat sealant and flexi sealant so that when you are on the road it basically flexes with the van. That is what I would get. So that is the mission now. I need to see if I've got a drill bit basically big enough to put in the bolts, and then I'm going to go and get the burner from inside and then bolt it down, and that is basically it. So I will step by step basically tell you what I'm doing, but that is the mission. It is raining, so I'm probably going to do everything I can on the inside, and then when it's not raining I can then drill holes from the inside, and then I know basically where to cut it, because I need to be able to cut it from the outside, not the inside, because I'm not going to be able to get my jigsaw in unless I do it with the angle grinder, because it doesn't need to be perfect because this is going to go over it anyway. So I'm going to shut up and basically get on with it, because otherwise I'm not going to get the things done that I need to get done. So I put the log burner in, and because I've got the little feet at the bottom, I've basically dotted where the holes are going to be for it, so then I can just drill straight in and I don't have to mess around trying to figure it out. So that is what I've done, and I took the felt tip bit out of my pen so that I could get it actually in the accurate spot. I did end up drilling the holes for these bolts like literally perfect size so they couldn't rattle loose at all when I was driving. There, and there's some holes. I've got some holes now. I just need to tidy this up, and then hopefully my bolt fits through it, but I don't think it's gonna. No. I need the bigger size up. I knew that. I've got the burner in place. I'm not sure how well this is gonna go. So, I've got some washers that fit over this perfectly. So hopefully this is just going to go in nicely. I hope. It's actually more fiddly than I thought it would be. Because I did end up drilling the holes perfect size for the bolts, it made this job really fiddly to get it all the way through the wood and a right nightmare. But once I got the bolts through, I did end up putting the washers and the nut on the bottom of the log burner underneath near the wood. Bolted in. She looks good. She looks really good now. I just need to figure out where the flue's going now. So, this is my flue. And she just fits in there quite nicely. I don't quite know how I'm going to figure out how it reaches the top. No idea how it's going to reach the top. So, this stuff here isn't going to be here. I'm going to put that in the shower because that's where it's going to live. About there somewhere. I also nabbed me finger, which isn't ideal. Need a pen. You've got the pen here. So I don't know where the other one's gone. It sits in a bit further than what it is at the moment. And I kind of want it as high as it will possibly go. I just want to kind of figure out where it's going so then I can draw some holes and see what's behind it so that I'm not hitting anything. That's not straight, is it? I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, so I'm putting something over the top of it anyway, but I need to figure out where to drill the holes to have a look to see what's going on. So I am drilling holes into the roof before I cut a hole in it, just to make sure I know where the structural beams of the van are so that there aren't no structural beams in the way when I end up putting the flue in. There is something there. There's something stopping the drill, but I'm not quite sure what it is. I'm just hoping it's not like a beam or something. It might just be a bit of wood. Right, so now I've done like a big square up here just because I'm having a thing over the top so we can figure out where everything is and make sure that the hole is going to be in the right place and things like that, because it doesn't particularly matter because I am going to have something over the top. So the flue should come up around here somewhere, but if I need to move it forwards, just because on the outside it does look like it's going to be right on the curve, which means this is going to be on like a weird sort of stretch, so I don't really want it to break. I'm cutting the hole bigger than it needs to, and I'm using the grinder just because here, down on this bottom bit here, the outside of the van is like this far away, so I don't want to cut a hole in it, so I'm using the grinder because the jigsaw blades are too long, so it will hit the end outside of the van, and I don't want to make a hole on the outside of the van at the moment because that's going to, one, make my life harder, two, give me an extra job to do, and I don't want to do that. So yeah, I'm going to cut the hole. This isn't the best way of doing it. This is just the way that I'm doing it because of the way the roof of the van is in here. Don't know how far away the outside of the roof of the van is. I wouldn't suggest doing this, and I kind of want to make sure that the actual roof of the van isn't, like the inside roof of the van isn't anywhere near where the log burner is going to be, just because I don't want it to get too hot and then set on fire. So I've just cut a big square around it so that obviously this doesn't get hot. Don't worry that there's a big hole because I've got a sign to go over it. That's going to have the perfect hole where the flue is going to be anyway, so it'll cover this up, but I just don't want this getting hot. So this is it. And that is what I was drilling into yesterday. That makes more sense now. Right, okay, so hopefully the flue just goes straight up here and I don't have to move that. And then I need to sort this bit of wood out because it looks absolutely disgusting and I hate it. And I don't want it to look like that, I want it to look very professional. And then I've got to take this bit of wood out here as well. I think. We might not have to, but I don't really want the flue that close to a bit of wood like that, just because it could set on fire on the inside behind the walls, and I don't want that to happen, just on the basis of don't want the whole van to burn down. I don't want the whole van to burn down. So I'm gonna have to cut that out, which is a nightmare because I'd assume where it is, it goes all the way to the end of the van this way and all the way to the end of the van the other way. So, oh, now the sun's come out and it's too bright. Now the sun's come out and it's too bloody bright. So yeah, that is kind of where I'm at with it. And yes, I did forget to film myself cutting this out. Once the hole was cut out, we made sure to spray the metal of the van so that it didn't get rusty. So it got really dark last night and I still need to sort the hat out and stuff and the flue. You saw us cut the hole and then we literally sealanted around the whole thing and then screwed it in and made sure that it went with the flow of the curvature of the roof. That's basically the whole thing on. The next mission to use it is fire rope. So I've got the stuff that's got like sticky stuff on the other side, so hopefully this will be exactly what I need. But I'm going to put it on and test it out, and then that basically means that I can set the fire alight tonight. Yeah, I don't have a hat on it, but that's fine. I need to get some scissors, 2 seconds. So I need to see how wide everything is and stuff, and then cut where you need it, and then take this off. It's a little bit fiddly, a little bit difficult, but it's alright. Lip at the top is a little bit small. So yeah, last night got really dark. I really just wanted the burner in at this point, and it was lying around and it was kind of like in everybody's way, and I didn't want that, and I was like, well, it might as well go in. I had started like setting up for it anyway, so I was just like, do you know what? You finished doing what you're doing, my friend. I was like, do you just want to help me get it in? Cutting the sign took a lot longer than we both anticipated, so it got dark, because I kind of wanted to not do it in the dark, but it got dark. So that is why I didn't film doing it, just because it got really dark, and we had already cut the hole in the roof, so we kind of needed to just do it. Fire rope is in. This one is a little bit too big for the bottom one, because the bottom lip's a little bit not as big, and then this weirdly like this, but